I want to talk to this psychologist, though, because...
Oh, we got her?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much going on with this Heath Ledger thing. It's gotten kind of... it's upsetting to a whole bunch of people.
Hi, Jody?
Yes.
Dr. Jody Gold, this is the Opie and Anthony Show.
Hi.
I'm sure you're getting a lot of interview requests today on this Heath Ledger thing.
Yeah, we are, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's tragic news when we all heard it late last night and this morning. How would you have the parents deal with the children during this tough time, really?
That's really the hardest question, because this is not a guy...
Yeah.
This was not a guy that we expected this from. He wasn't on the top 5 lists of people this would happen to.
Right.
So I think that that's the problem.
Yeah.
The other issue is that this guy, his persona, whether it was true or not, was of the guy next door.
Yeah.
Like, he was the guy that kept to himself.
Yeah.
And I think that kids and families need to understand that just because you're not Lindsay and Brittany and you're not, you know, engaging in self-destructive behavior all the time, doesn't mean that you're not hurting.
Right.
And
well, let me ask you, not to interrupt, but are they saying now that it was the idea that it was a suicide was at first poo-pooed by the family, and then other people are speculating that it may be. Your
sounded despondent.
Yeah, was it a purposeful thing, or was it just an accidental overdose? I mean, please.
Well, this is the thing. It's too early to know. It's all speculative.
Right, more investigation.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm keeping an
more to
open
come
mind.
later today, probably, I'm thinking,
Exactly. I'm hoping that it wasn't suicide. What we do know is that he was hurting. I mean, that's something that was public.
Yes.
What would indicate that, probably? What would you think? Because I've heard just the opposite, but I could be wrong.
Would it be the nudeness that is an indication, or...?
I'm sorry, the what?
The nudity. He was found nude.
Yeah,
is that an indication of depression, like with pills mixed in?
No, absolutely not. I think he could sleep in the nude and not be depressed.
But what would the nude thing implicate in this situation with Heath Ledger's passing?
I think that clearly he wasn't. What we know is that he wasn't in his right, and he wasn't thinking clearly when this happened. We know he was struggling a little bit with insomnia. I think that's the kind of stuff we know.
Is it easier to sleep in the nude if you have insomnia?
Honestly, I don't know.
Excuse me,
Doctor. On that one?
Dr. Gold, this is a serious subject. We really don't want any laughter. Thank you.
I agree. This is very serious.
Yes.
I don't know.
Our listeners get a little. They've been calling in just in sorrow and tears, some of them, to the show, and I don't think the laughter is appropriate. Now, the nudity, is that part of this overdosing? A lot of people that have overdosed, John Belushi, Marilyn Monroe, have been found in the nude. Why is this nudity such an issue with this type of thing?
I don't think it is. I actually think that it's the kind of thing that people like to report on, and I actually think that it does take away from the gravity of the situation.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what we've been saying all morning.
We've
been saying that.
What's
focusing on the fact that he was naked.
No need to bring that up is what I'm saying.
I don't think we should be talking about it.
Right.
I'm saying no need to bring it up.
Of course.
No,
Doc,
I don't think we need to bring it up.
I agree 100%.
Will shockwaves be felt through the community?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Will shockwaves be felt through the community?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that people are feeling very sad.
Now, you said earlier that he wasn't in the top 5 of people this would happen to. Is there an actual top 5 list?
Good question.
I guess Britney Spears would be in the top 5.
Yeah, I think the celebrities that have self-injurious behavior, and self-destructive behavior that we read about all the time, are the people that we would expect, unfortunately.
Right.
What would who would be in your top 5?
Well, I think that I mean I don't want to conjecture on whom I'm hoping that none of these people
exactly
would ever attempt suicide.
From your
God's
mouth,
ears.
Give a list who I think might. I think that the. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Jody.
I think that the general public expects more that these people that are in the news all the time are the people that this would happen to.
Yes.
So I think this is really scary. So I think
Thank you, Alan Alda.
Like I think Heath Ledger felt like your next door neighbor, your son, your boyfriend.
He really did. From the people I've spoken to, there's a great attachment, especially in this the Big Apple. Here in New York City for this young man, and it's just tragic.
And Dr. Jody Gold,
the nudity.
Anthony, who was just speaking, he's been sharing his his connection with Heath Ledger all morning long.
Actually, I did
telling that terrific story that you told a couple times this morning.
I had a girlfriend, an ex-girlfriend, actually, that knew a gentleman that dated the woman Michelle, that is the mother of his baby. So I feel especially close to the situation in that way, that I even had any connection to it.
And she'd walk by the apartment all the time, and she said it was always like kind of neat and stuff on the outside, and
it's just so unexpected.
Clean people.
That's what makes it so tragic.
So tragic,
so nude and so
I think
tragic.
That's why we're feeling shockwaves, because he was the guy next door, and we're all afraid this is going to happen. I think that for kids, though, they need to know that you can be suffering and you can be keeping to yourself, and you can be isolated and anxious, and you still
despite having millions.
And we have Jimsy, the medical examiner here, just speculating on how can you tell the difference between a suicide and an unintentional overdose?
Because a suicide is done by accident.
Well, it wouldn't have been, Jimsy. It would have been...
it was murder.
Well,
Whoever sold him the pills, it was murder.
Well, now that is another problem. Doctors that prescribe a lot of pills for people, and
it's tantamount to murder.
Well, Jimsy, I don't see that. But
do you not agree, doctor?
Do you agree that these doctors are maybe prescribing too many pills for people these days?
I think that the pills, when taken as prescribed, are very safe.
Yes.
Doctor,
Doctor,
thank you, Jimsy.
Can we have you for a couple more minutes, because we've been discussing this all morning, and we got a lot of our listeners with serious questions about this issue.
Yeah.
Sure, if I can be of help, I'm happy to stay.
Are you trying to tell me that you think that these doctors shouldn't be charged with murder?
No, Jimsy. A lot of times, the people, for some reason, are given these drugs when there may not be a reason for so many of these drugs to be prescribed.
Well, I think that if you're going to a good mental health professional, a good physician,
yes,
it's evaluated appropriately, there is a place and a time for sleep aids and for antidepressants.
Yeah.
I think the problem is when they're mixed or they're used inappropriately, and I want to be really clear about that.
Yeah.
So there's millions of people on these medications, and they're safe, and they're very effective when used appropriately.
Now, have you heard any more about this issue of pneumonia, perhaps, contributing?
I don't know much about the issue of pneumonia. What I do know is that most healthy 28-year-old men who get pneumonia, it can be treated quite easily with either antibiotics by mouth or IV. And people that were to unfortunately die of pneumonia usually don't die overnight. It's sort of more prolonged. They usually end up in the hospital. He may have been what's called immunocompromised, a little bit more vulnerable because he was having difficulty breathing. But I think that we may get some more information about that when the autopsy comes out.
Doctor, I got a little one at home, little Gregorio. And
adorable, cute as a button. How is he?
Thank you. He's all right. He's
great.
He seems to be a little distant this morning.
How old is he?
He's 4.5.
But he liked Brokeback Mountain, but not for the story. It was the music and the colors and the Western thing. He wants to be a cowboy.
Now I got to explain to the doctor. I feel as a parent that you should expose your children to all this stuff and explain what they're seeing.
It's healthy.
Instead of
as long as you explain.
Instead of turning off the computer and the video games and the R-rated movies, we'd like to kind of watch some of these things together, and then I discuss what he just saw.
It's a little complicated when you're talking about death of a child this young.
Yeah.
Because kids that are under 5 or 6 years of age, and sometimes even older, have difficulty understanding the meaning of death.
Yeah, except like Ramoning or something. But
they have things what we call as magical thinking, meaning they may think that you go away and then you come back. They may not quite understand the finality of death.
Are you suggesting that we raise super kids?
I'm sorry. Am I suggesting what?
That we raise super kids. It's we've had a few doctors on over the years, and they discuss raising super kids.
Linger longer. It's a way to get kids prepared for the future by almost making them super kids while they're younger, by exposing them to certain things and very adult things. telling them things, being honest.
It's a well-known Oxford study that
came
out late last year.
What I think, and I don't know much about the super kids, so I don't want to speak directly to that. What I think is important with young kids is talking to them in an appropriate, age-appropriate level.
Right.
They're not adults. So talking to them like adults, we're not really sure how they're going to process information.
Right. Okay.
So you have to talk to a 4- and 5-year-old understanding what developmental level they're at.
Can you take a couple phone calls?
Sure.
Okay, we got, let's see, we got Steve from, Steve, where are you calling from?
Yellowstone.
Steve from Yellowstone?
Hello?
Yes, Steve.
Is the doctor there, doctor?
Yes.
Doctor, is this Dr. Gold?
Yes.
Oh, I saw you on the CW11 too. I'm having a hard time because for some reason I was a big fan of Heath Ledger.
Yes.
And
yes, many of us were, yeah.
Very difficult to deal with such an untimely death. I'm not too sure what to do or what to tell my young boy.
Yeah, it's a difficult
I am not too sure how to handle this.
Yeah, no, I completely understand.
I know you do. That's why I'm asking. What should I do?
Well, I think is this something
what's that?
How old is your son?
He's 11. He'll be 14.
He's 11.
Yes.
Okay. And is he aware of what's happened? Did you see it on the news?
Yes, I woke him.
You woke him to tell. Well, I think
he was sleeping, and I woke him up because it was a tragedy, and I don't know how to handle it. So I woke him up angrily.
Well, I think that what's important for young kids is how the parents.
He's not very young. I don't mean to interrupt you. He's 11. Okay. He'll be 12 when it's his birthday.
Right.
July 19th, the day after the Joker movie is released, which I think is kind of ironic that the Heath Ledger died and the movie's coming out the 18th, his birthday.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. I think what's important, though, is that you model the behavior you want. If you're angry and you're really...
Oh, no. I don't...
I'm sorry?
Yes, caller, yes.
Yeah, did we lose the caller?
No.
Oh,
I don't feel angry.
Yes, could you please get to the point with Dr. Gold?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Her time is valuable today.
A lot of interviews to do.
I just wanted to know if you could please explain. I'm not too sure what to tell my son because he died of Ambien.
Well, first of all, we're still speculating on how he died. We don't know that yet.
This is going to hurt my...
Important not to jump to conclusions.
Okay.
However, I think that you have to sit down with your son and have a conversation. Hello? Are you still there?
I am.
I know this is a really hard thing for a lot of us to deal with, especially somebody that we do
Ramon! This boring bitch makes Ambien look like methamphetamines.
Well, we don't know what he died
of. Accidental death. Oh, Harry.
Well, we don't actually know what he died of.
And John Wayne is laughing at this shit dick.
Well, I think what's important, though, is that you not talk to your son about this until you feel like you're safe to have this conversation.
Daddy, don't touch me there. It's the only way to handle this.
Okay. Are you there?
Dr. Gold makes my dick shrink.
Okay, I think that probably we should stop the conversation now. But I'm so sorry that you're feeling so sad. Thank you. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, obviously.
I think maybe we should consider moving on to a different caller.
Yeah, Jody, that was obviously a...
Hello?
Can we get rid of the caller, please?
Hello?
No, I'm sorry, Steve.
I don't know what to do.
We're trying to take this very seriously.
This isn't a joke.
No, this is
if you're taking it tough
joke.
and think this is going to help, you're sadly mistaken. Steve.
I'm sorry, Jody.
Yes.
We got rid of the caller.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Every once in a while, you get one of those numbskulls. Sorry.
And I think it's really unfortunate because I do think that a lot of people are really seriously suffering.
That are grieving and do have issues as parents and how to deal with it with their children. And I think people like you and people in the business, in the psychiatric field, can help. Yes.
I think they can, and I think that what we can learn from this last caller is that parents do model behavior for kids. So if the parents are hysterical or inappropriate in some way, the kids are going to pick up on that.
Right.
If you're going to have a conversation with your children, you need to be in a place.
Right.
Psychologically, you can sit down with them, ask them what they understand, speak to them at a developmentally appropriate level, and address their concerns, not the parents' concerns, but the children's concerns.
Well, you are a trooper.
We got. Let's get this back on track. We got Uncle Paul calling in. If you don't know who he is, he's a local celebrity in Oklahoma. He calls our show a lot, and he's a kid show host out there in Oklahoma.
Oh,
yes,
wonderful.
Uncle Paul, you're talking to Dr. Jody Gold.
I got a bad connection. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I do a children's show out here in Oklahoma.
That's wonderful. I'm here.
It's just very difficult, it seems, to when a celebrity dies. I don't why do you think kids have more trouble with a celebrity death than with the average death? Because we've all lost people in our lives. But when it's a famous person, we have more trouble.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. I think that's true for two reasons.
Isn't that weird, though? Is that the way we're raised? Or?
Well, I think that celebrities, first of all, people, especially people like a Heath Ledger, are friends. And
someone give this bitch a pig sock.
Hello?
Hello?
Here.
I'm right here.
Okay. So, I think that celebrities like Heath Ledger feel like part of our family. We hear about them all the time.
Only tell your children if you have an erection.
Okay. I really don't. I think this guy.
Huh?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think that this guy needs to be put off.
Off it.
Can you help me here?
Yeah, no problem, Jody.
Yeah,
that's very inappropriate.
Sorry, Dr. Gold, again.
It's really not appropriate. And we're trying to have a serious conversation about, how to talk to kids and why this is such a big deal. And I think part of it's because these celebrities feel like part of our family.
Yeah.
We know more. We know more about these celebrities' personal lives than we know about many of our family members' personal lives. So I think it feels much more like a family member dying.
Thank God for our dump button. My God.
What do you think about the people that think that this has something to do with the movie roles he has taken on in his short career?
I don't think that could have any bearing on it.
It's an interesting point, and I'm not really sure what to make of that. He's taken on a whole bunch of really serious roles.
Yes.
And I understand from people that have interviewed him that he says that he gets very, very into the roles.
Yeah, which was very disturbing, knowing that he was the star of Brokeback Mountain, if you know what I mean.
Well, I don't mean that they emulate the behavior in any way. I just think that in order to get into a character, and he clearly took his work very seriously, sometimes they,
do you think this proves that God doesn't like, the homosexual?
No, I don't think so at all.
No,
I read an article that appeared in the Houston Gazette.
You're playing the devil's advocate
and
here now, I'm sure.
It was it was an editorial, and they were discussing God's role in the death of Heath Ledger.
Let's go to Roland, right here from New York. Roland would like to talk to Dr. Gold. Roland, you're on.
Hello.
Hi, Roland.
Yes, Roland.
Hi. Yeah, I'm listening. It seems why is there so much attention being paid to a famous person? Like, why? How come we don't care for each other?
That's a very good question.
Yeah, it's a really good point. I mean, we should care about each other as much as we care about this. I have to agree with you. I think that what we can learn from this is that it increases awareness.
About what, though? I'm not sure about what, because I'm very careful.
Well, I think some of it's going to depend on, as we further understand what happened. But
Travis's dog licks my balls!
He keeps on coming back, this guy.
Oh, my gosh.
Ramon! I pulled a quarter out of Heath Ledger's cold buttocks!
Well, maybe we can.
Time to cut this guy off.
We could cut that guy off. Doctor. Yes. Perhaps, Doctor, maybe we could try this again some other time. Our phones, it's ridiculous with this gentleman calling in.
Yeah, we're in the middle of a radio war with NPR, and they're sending their people our way today for some reason.
I want to apologize.
Yeah.
I want to apologize for that.
But
Thank you.
But you gave us a lot of insight today, I must say.
Absolutely.
It's
well, I appreciate it. And if I can be of help, any more help, please let me know.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Gold.
Any other interviews today? I'm sure you're a very busy gal.
Well, I think that there may be later on.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Sorry about that. That happens. A guy calls once in a while. We apologize.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. No, it's okay. But I know that's a fun show, but you also have to remember.
You got to take the serious with the serious, and you got to take the silly. I was talking, but go. You go right ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to actually chime in. Right, it's about you. Go ahead. Go.
I'm sorry?
No, I mean, I'm saying I think you got to take the serious with the serious, and you got to separate the silly with the silly.
Sure.
And a lot of times, go right ahead. You jump in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think having a little bit of silliness, I mean, that's one of the ways we deal with trauma and we deal with bereavement, is that sometimes a little bit of humor is appropriate.
You just reiterate and steal it, make it your point. Go ahead.
Speaking of the humor, Dr. Jody Gold, can you apologize to our listeners that might have been offended when you kind of laughed when we were talking about the
Absolutely.
death of
I think you all
Heath
embarrassed
Ledger.
me a little bit, and I wasn't expecting that, and I didn't expect to speak about the nudity, so I do apologize if anybody was offended. But I think what's important is not to emphasize that.
Do you take full responsibility for your actions?
Of course she does. She's a doctor psychiatry.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think this is quite a serious
very serious subject.
Extremely.
I mean, joking aside,
I shouldn't think of anything more serious than this.
Especially the accidental death of someone, and what happens is
the fact that our economy is completely collapsing, and this is getting more coverage.
This is very important.
We think that a lot of time what happens is that when a celebrity dies, the public tends to take it more seriously than the actual problem itself.
Right.
And it seems like the awareness is only brought because of the celebrity as opposed to the problem.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that.
You want to talk? Okay, go ahead. I wasn't quite finished, but go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Yeah, that's fine, because who cares about me, right? Not about me.
I think it's just important to take.
Look, obviously, we're all on edge, you know.
Yeah, no, I
Jimmy,
understand.
You know.
And
she's trying to help us out here.
It's upsetting in the sense that, like, you like a guy, you follow his career.
Right.
And, it's almost like, I don't know why we separate the celebrity from ourselves.
Sure.
But we do. It's a natural thing. And then you find yourself, like, in this helpless position of, like, this guy who I really enjoyed, and I loved his work, and he made me laugh, he made me cry, blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden, he's gone. And it's kind of frustrating that it had to happen so senselessly at such a young age.
No, I agree. And we should take all of these things seriously.
All right. I didn't mean to actually start. Go ahead. No, it's all right. I tend to pause a lot.
Doc, that was your fault there. I guess you don't really know the show, but Jimmy has a way of expressing himself where he does pause for dramatic effect, and you kind of stepped all over. No, that's all right. I mean, I know it's not to be disrespectful, but I'm actually in a weird thing with this, and I'm just kind of trying to, like, get some out there, and you're kind of running through a roughshod.
I think everybody's feeling a little weird today with this whole thing. It's kind of a depressing day.
I know we had the idiotic calls, but that guy does it every time we have an interview, so there's never going to be.
Yeah, I apologize if I'm interrupting you. Would you like me to continue? Or
Oh, no, absolutely. I want to hear your opinion, but I want this to be a back and forth as opposed to a soliloquy.
Okay.
No, my thing about celebrity is we tend to
Hello? Hello?
Yeah. I'm waiting for your response.
I'm sorry, I think I lost you.
No, we're right here.
No, that was a very good statement by Jim.
What I'm saying is, do you feel that the overrating of it, like, when we tend to separate ourselves from celebrities, is the reason for that because of this whole esteem thing we used for diversionary reasons, or is it basically because we like to focus on a famous person, which by proxy allows us to completely never have that come back, at least in a full circle?
Right. Yeah.
So you're wondering about how we relate.
That's the point I've been trying to make for a half hour. Yes.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Oh, no, go ahead.
I do think that we overly relate to celebrities. I think that we get so much information about them, and they feel so larger than life, that we really do relate very closely to them. And so when something tragic like this happens, it's hard. It's like it's like having a family member pass away for some people.
I'm doing a radio interview, you cunt. Sorry.
Doctor?
Yes. I'm here.
Yeah, it seems that...
stupid girlfriend calls in the middle of the show. She knows I'm on the air.
Your girlfriend calls during the show?
Always, to get her stupid questions in.
Okay.
Yeah, they feel like they're part of the show. It's kind of awkward.
Ask you this, ask you that. Shut up. Ask yourself, bitch.
But the answer to the last question was not heard by our listeners, because I don't know what happened, but we seem to have lost you for about 15, 20 seconds there.
Okay, do you want me to repeat it?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a book out or something like that, too? Because you obviously know what you're talking about.
I appreciate that. I don't have a book out. I'm saying that I think that with celebrities, we learn so much about them.
Yes, we know. We got to that already. The next point.
Oh, the next point. But it's feeling like our family members passed away because they're so close to us.
Hello?
I don't know if that's the truth, though.
Hello?
No?
Hello?
I'm here.
What happened?
Are you on a cell phone?
I'm on a cell phone, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
that mug is cutting in and out.
Yeah, start. What was the last thing we heard?
I heard something. It was something about I'm sorry and then family, and we have a tendency to not.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that because we care so much about the celebrities and we know so much about their personal lives, that they become for many people like family. So when something tragic happens, it feels like for some people that a family member dies.
True.
Hello?
And
Hello? What the hell's going on?
Are you still hearing me? Or am I going in and out?
We were hearing like every other word that time.
Okay. I'll try to project more. I think that what I was saying was about how celebrities become to feel like family members to us because we know so much about them.
Can you hear her?
And they're larger than life.
No.
And you getting her?
I was, but...
What happened?
I don't know.
I'm going to walk away and speak.
Hello?
Hi, I'm here.
Yeah, maybe you're in a... Are you in one of those... Because my carrier is crazy, and it's like... There's certain sections where it just drops out. I can kind of... You're saying something... I know you're raising a very good point about family and how we feel like we've lost a family member.
Yes, I think that because we know so much about them and they feel so much more larger than life, that they feel like family members.
Yeah.
And so when they die, and it becomes very tragic. And the fact that we treat them as larger than life, it feels even more tragic because we feel like they're invincible and nothing can happen to them.
Yeah. You hear that?
Oh, my God. My coffee went down the wrong way. Yeah, so that's very interesting, Doc.
But why do we not associate our fellow citizens in the same thing? Is it because... I mean, again, I'm not knocking the age of celebrity. I mean, I love a good celebrity thing. But to watch the media outside, I mean, it's just enough to make your balls crawl.
I have to agree with you on that one. I think it's unfortunate the amount of publicity that these kinds of things get. And I'm not always sure that it's helpful. And I'm not sure that it always respects the privacy of the family. Right. But I think that's sort of reflective of a lot of these celebrities' lives. They die in the way they lived. No one respected their privacy, and when they die, no one respects their privacy.
Yeah, that's. I think that's what you sign up for, though, Doc. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's about
you buy a ticket on this ride. You know.
You sure do. I mean, there's no victims, only volunteers. But and it's not even like he seemed like a nice man, and he seemed like a good family man. But and now there's all the speculation. Immediately they jump to suicide and the nudity, like the whole Monroe thing, the whole Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah,
do you see a comparison with Marilyn Monroe?
Yeah.
I think that there is a
whore.
Yeah. I think that that's what I want us not to do, is to jump to conclusions, because we are still completely speculating about all of this.
I know. That's what I was...
Well, let me ask you a question. If he was not as famous, do you think?
Well, do you?
Hello?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
You didn't hear the last part of that?
No.
Well, it was a very good question.
Can you repeat it?
Would it have been as big a deal?
Right. Hello?
Hi, I'm here. I'm not hearing any questions.
If he wasn't as famous.
Right. God, how many times do we have to repeat the question? It's getting frustrating.
I can understand that.
No, don't worry. We're sorry. It's just like I said, everybody's a little.
We're all a little on edge here.
We're in a weird mood today. It's a little weird here. Yeah.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. All right, and maybe in closing,
wow, this really stinks.
Do you
Final,
think,
this whole thing stinks. I gotta tell you.
Is it something that's going to change? The way these people are perceived, and again, I know you talked a little bit about the kids. It's very sad to have to tell our kids this type of stuff because you got to sit down and tell them how like the guy in the movie that you liked is no longer around to do the interviews that you always enjoyed him in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you a parent yourself?
Yes, I am.
Okay, if you could just, what would you probably say, like if it was your little kid or what? How would you explain it in a way that they can understand that's not going to hurt them and yet enable them to move on?
Well, Mike's quite young, so they're 1 and 3, so I'm probably not going to have this discussion with them. But with kids that are a little bit older and that really understand what's going on and are seeing it on the news, I would sit down with them and first I would ask them what they've heard and what they know. I wouldn't, and then go with that, and then help them to understand that sometimes very sad and tragic things do happen, and help them to understand that he's not coming back. Again, I think it really depends on how old the child is you're talking to, but I think giving the child a place to sit and talk with a parent that's calm and willing to listen is really important. Are you guys still there? Hello? 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 Hello?
Okay. That was fucking brutal. Oh, was that brutal?
Hey, look. She seems like a nice enough lady.
She certainly does.
But, I mean, come on.
Wow.
On the news to talk about to the kids. How could you be honestly tolerating that nonsense? You should have hung up immediately.
My favorite part, the Jimmy farts, and when you can't talk, trying to do Ramon.
I almost laughed at stupid Steve from Yellowstone. I haven't done that in a year.
She thought you were like tearing up or something.
Oh.
Like she heard you go.
Oh my God.
Mm.
Oh, all right.
Wow, she's a trooper.
That was wonderful. All right, we're going to take a break now.
Of course we are. Why wouldn't we? Very funny.
Holy shit, man.
Everyone's saying Coke Logic's got to animate some pieces of that.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Why don't we take a little...
I couldn't not laugh. When you kept playing the Goldblum clip.
Oh, yeah.
That was the
Jeff
best.
was screaming it at her.
The best part was trying to keep it together.
She was hanging in for everything.
Dude, when you started Ramon and stopped, she thought you started crying.
Yeah, she thought you started crying.
No, but I knew I was about to say either fucking pink sock or shit dick or Ambien and she's boring. I knew it was coming. I'm like, this.
All right, we're going to regroup. She was so depressed.
Yeah.
At the end of that.
Nah, she was nice. She should have hung up, though.
She apologized for laughing after all the shit.